Here we are at Mac Fitness in Kingston, New York, one of the best gyms I've ever worked out in. And my name is Art Driscoll. I am a fitness professional. I was a personal trainer in New York City for 25 years. Award-winning bodybuilder, the author of the book, Young Your Body Now, and I could go on and on. But here is my co-host, Ivan.
I'm Ivan. So I'm a designer, creative director of If Creative, entrepreneur. And I started my fitness journey about a year and a half ago.
Well, your serious fitness journey.
My serious fitness
I mean,
journey.
you were training for a number of
Yes.
years, but once you got serious, I think it kind of changed your life a little bit.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
And when I started training with your son, I started seeing a new level of fitness.
Yeah.
And then training with you, I think, Art, a year? We're above a year and a month now that we've been training together.
Right. I think once you got dedicated to really working out hard, and once you saw the results you get, because once you start training and you see these great results you're getting in your body and your fitness level, you want to continue and train harder and harder.
Of course.
And I think right now, as I mentioned, I think we're going to be training for a physique show maybe in 6 months, which is, I think it's a great accomplishment for you.
Yep. And I think that ties in great to the theme of our podcast today.
The art of living fearlessly.
Yes.
Okay, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, bololiving.com. It's a CBD company that has some great creams for sore muscles. I've used them and you've used them. And actually, they're CBD gummies, 0 THC, they say.
0 THC.
Man,
they say.
I don't know. I got like
I
wasted
don't
on these
know.
things, man.
I was flying on one of
You
those.
got to
the
do
other
like a
day.
half one at a time. You do a
Yeah.
whole one or two, and you're like in a different world. I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
oh my God, like I haven't smoked pot since I was in
It's
college.
like buying tickets to a labyrinth that never ends.
Oh,
You're
man.
like, why am I doing it? Why did I get in this labyrinth? I just need to get out.
I mean, they have CBDs kind of relax you, and
Yes.
CBD
Yes.
gummies to get
The ones
you,
I took
get you up.
yesterday were very relaxing. The ones you gave me.
Actually, the ones I took were the opposite, because I'm like up all night going, when is this going to end?
That's when you texted me and you said,
I said I'm in another world.
I'm
you
on
know?
the choo-choo train.
Yeah, I know.
Woo.
But anyway, if you want to get these gummies, go to bololiving.com and the ointments, and they have oils and everything. And if you use the code AD18, you get 20% off.
Bam.
All right? But if you get too stoned, don't blame me, okay? Start out really, really easy, maybe a quarter of a hit. Okay.
Hey, Art, and also to our generous host, Mac Fitness.
Yes,
Right?
Mac Fit-
Premier Workout Center in Kingston, New York.
absolutely, man.
They let us do the podcast here.
They got great trainers here. I know most of them. In fact, we may have a trainer on our show in the next 6 weeks or so.
That's
But
it.
Before that, we got some other great guests coming on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And last but not least, the man behind the camera,
Century Films.
Century Films.
Josh.
Social media, brand films, marketing content. I know because I work with them with my clients. So I know their talents. CenturyFilms.com.
Right. This podcast, okay, what we want to do is to try to inform, teach the average person on how to work out, start working out. This podcast is geared towards the beginner. Okay, other podcasts we're going to be doing, like someone that wants to get into a bodybuilding show or someone that wants to look better, that's been training for a while, and we're going to get into diet, we're going to get into different workouts. But today I want to focus on the beginner. Okay?
Yep. And I think for me, I'd like to serve as an example because I started my journey like that. And at first, I remember I thought I was fit and I thought I was doing the right things because I did the things that I thought were right, which was like, I'm going to jog for 5 miles and then I'm going to go do some kettlebells at home. I found myself not meeting my fitness goals,
Right.
getting injured. And you remember a lot of my
Yeah,
injuries because I would come in and see you for body work.
Right.
And then nutrition. I was also clueless about nutrition, and I just did what I saw on YouTube and all
Right.
this.
So we're going to try to get into all that. Fortunately, I studied vitamins and minerals and amino acids from the Huntington School of Science, so I'm certified in that. But I think the main thing for someone to start out in fitness, exercise program, is their brain. Okay, it's got to come
The
from
drive,
inside you.
the passion.
working in New York City for the 25 years, I've come across all kinds of clients, beginners, rich clients, poor clients, celebrities, doctors, lawyers, whatever. But the main thing, if someone's just starting out, you got to have the right attitude or you're not going to make it.
How do you get into that frame of mind? By seeing results, by consistency?
It comes from within yourself. You have to say, I'm committed to working out. I'm not going to stop. If you're afraid of going to the gym or being with a trainer or I can't make it, I'm not going to get results, you're going to fail. Also, if you go in like, I want to lose weight. That's my main goal is to lose weight. You're going to fail.
Why?
Because people say, well, I haven't lost the amount of weight that I want to lose, and you're going in there just to look good or whatever, lose. But you have to go in there with the attitude to get fitter, stronger, and have a stronger mind spiritually. And I think that's really super important.
Does that help to get a trainer, Art?
If you can afford a trainer, absolutely. And I think that you have to get the right trainer.
What is the right trainer? Tell us about that.
Okay, if I'm going to search for a trainer, all right, I want someone that looks good. Okay, someone that says, oh, yeah, I'm going to look like that. That guy or that female, man, she really looks great. She's in shape. Unfortunately, a lot of trainers get certified, on the computer. They spend $500 and they're out of shape. They don't know shit. Okay, but, if you look at a trainer and you say, wow, he really looks good. A trainer that looks good has to train hard to get there.
Right.
Okay, if they don't have the knowledge to make you look good. See what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And also probably someone that you get along with, someone that's kind of...
Yeah. I think that a trainer, like for me, the more experience I got in New York City, and when I went down there, it was like, okay, I got all these clients, and my goal was to get into New York City. That was, man, these guys are making a lot of money down there. And 25 years ago, training was open, and to be a good trainer in New York City, you got to be good, because there are so many trainers down there. So eventually, being an athlete really helped me. Being a bodybuilder helped me. I had the knowledge about diet. I competed in triathlons or whatever, all sports, and I think I was a track coach for a while. All that helped me be a really successful trainer in the city.
Art, I got a good one for you. Why do people start and give up? Like, what can you suggest to the beginner that's very motivated and says, I'm going to kill it, Rocky IV, right? And then they work out hard for a week, 2 weeks, and like, no, this is not for me. What makes people give up, and can we learn from that on what to look out for so you don't give up?
Well, because the average person is weak. I'm tired today. The wind's blowing. It's too cold to come to the gym. They don't like it. They don't like training. It's hard.
It's resistance.
You
Your
have
mind's
to.
resisting.
Once you train and get results, you go, oh, this is great. I feel great. Like I told my clients in the city, they said, oh, I have a cold today. Should I just stay home? I says, do you have a fever? No. I says, come to the gym, work out. You'll feel better when you leave. Okay. So and they always did. So people just have the attitude where, oh, it's hard. I don't like it. It's, or whatever. It's like I don't feel good today. It's like, do I have to do this? It's too much work. So psychologically, they just don't have it. And those people are probably never going to get in shape. If you got to make a commitment, Ivan, just like you did.
Yep.
Just like all my clients did that I trained and were successful. You got to make an effing commitment.
And I would say when I started my fitness journey, when I was working on with your son, and then I took my fitness to a higher level, and there's a lot of time. I would say the first month was where I was like, oh, fuck, hell no. I don't want to do this, or I'm busy today. I have a lot of work. But the more you do it, and when you start seeing results after a month, then you really get into it, and you want to keep doing it and doing it and doing it.
I think a beginner, if they start late in life, it's hard. Okay? In the city, I had a client who had bad knees, and I didn't want him as a client, but as a favor, I took him. And he was like, 65 years old, and he could barely do anything. I says, why didn't you start 10 years ago? He goes, well, my doctor didn't tell me to, and I just couldn't do it. And now I decided that I'm gonna, I want to be young again. I'm going, dude, it's too late for you. I mean, let's say, if you start too late, you're done. You got to start before the body breaks down completely, or you're not going to get great results. You know, I got a show coming up called Super Fit Seniors. These are people 65, 75, 80 years old that are doing gymnastic stuff on the rings that a 30-year-old can't do.
I train with them. I train
I mean,
with
these
with
guys
the
are
super
outra-
fit
they're
seniors.
outrageous, you know?
Yeah, and
I mean-
I'm like, your rings are better than mine, and I'm 47 years old.
Right.
They're like around 65,
70,
67,
75, yeah.
75, and then I was like,
I
your
got
rings
females
are
that
better
are
than mine.
75 years old doing shit on the rings, and people going, holy shit,
Yeah.
what is she doing?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like because they started out in a process where they were beginners, they weren't athletes to start out with, but they started out in their head, they said, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to get
Yes.
results. And they didn't like it at first. Now they love it. It changed their lives. They live for the gym. So anyway, that's another podcast, but I think getting back to the beginner, you got to have the right frame of mind. And if you don't, you're screwed. You know, you got to overcome all these difficulties, all these, but don't start too late, because if you start too late, it ain't going to happen for you.
It's hard now at 47 for me because I remember when I was working out at 35, 36, it was easier. I saw results faster. That was only 10 years ago.
Well,
And it's hard now.
it's hard now for what? I mean, you love working out.
No, I love working out, but I'm saying like the
But most of all, what do you love? The results you're getting.
The results, the way I
change,
feel after,
the change in your
mentally,
body,
I
the
feel
change in your
clear.
body. I think
Yeah.
that's the main thing, you know.
Yeah, and the way you handle stress. Like when I get
Yeah.
into stressful situations at work, the gym reflects on that because I'm like, all right, I know how to handle this. I got to be patient.
Well, as far as, longevity, as far as fitness, as far as being healthy, exercise is a number one thing you can do to prolong the ultimate, which is getting old and getting decrepit, okay? You can be in shape the rest of your life, and maybe you're going to die from something else, who the hell knows? But exercise is going to keep you young and fit for as long as you want, but you have to make a commitment. How many days should you work out?
6 a week.
For the average person?
That I don't know. What do you think that'd be?
I
3 to
think 2
4?
days are better than none. 1 day is better than none. But you should do something every day. Obviously, weight training. Let's say you have a trainer. Well, you're not going to have a trainer every day of the week. Maybe you are, but most people do it twice a week. But you got to do something on your own, either walk or whatever you like to do, hike. If you can do that. But my one thing is, do not start too late, because then you are screwed.
Talk to us about logistics, Art, because I think a lot of the beginners want to know what should be to start. What should be a good way to start going to the gym? 3 times a week, 4 times a week, every day? I know you're
say
gonna say
I'm not
every
going to get a
day.
trainer. So say I'm a beginner and I'm going to come in here and I'm like 65, 70 years old. And if you have all your marbles in your head and you have all your physical attributes, then you start on the treadmill, get some information, read a book, get into your health, get into a better diet, which I think is real important as we age, and as when you're younger, you like to eat anything if you're active, and it doesn't really matter. But as you get older, you got to watch what you eat. And I think getting into organic foods, giving up sugar, eat healthier. I think that's that's a big part of your program.
Well, let's get into nutrition in a bit, but if I'm a beginner, I want to say maybe I want to set a realistic goal of 3 to 4 times a week so I don't burn myself out.
Okay.
Would you say that that's something you would suggest to a beginner?
Yes. I mean, I suggest to try to do something every day and to believe in the process. It's a slow process. You start down here and you go up like this. You got to believe in the process, believe in yourself, okay? Stick with it. If you don't feel good, don't miss a workout. Go in there anyway. If you're sick, you can stay home. If you have a fever, if you're a little bit, I don't feel like working out, man. I mean, you got to go to the gym. Or go out for a walk. But our future podcasts, we are going to get into more working out for people that are serious. Today is kind of a thing where we both discussed we wanted to get the beginners and get that out of the way.
Absolutely.
And I think a beginner should really, get into reading everything they can about working out, about exercise. On the computer, do it, educate themselves. If you can afford a trainer, that's the way to go.
Absolutely. Now, what about nutrition? Because you touched on it a bit. And nutrition goes, obviously, people know to start eating healthy, right? But what does that mean? And then obviously there's supplementing. And we could do a 5 podcast about supplementation. Right. But say I started my commitment to fitness, but you got to balance it with nutrition and supplementation.
Yeah, because correct? Of course, and we all know that sugar is bad for us. It causes diabetes and cancer and all this other stuff. You have to give up certain things that you're addicted to. People are addicted to sugar. You got to give that up, okay? Processed foods, okay? The thing that causes the most disease is the vegetable oils they're using. Canola oil and all these safflower, soy oil, and all this stuff. And in the past, everyone said that polyunsaturated fat was bad for you. That was a mistake. Saturated fat, I'm sorry, the opposite. Polyunsaturated fat was good for you, and saturated fat was bad for you. That was a misconception. Okay, saturated fat is actually good for you, like egg yolks and cheese and butter and all grass-fed meats. And I think that you got to go organic as much as you can.
Absolutely.
Cut down the sugar, cut down your fruit juices, do all the things. Try to get healthy, because you can exercise all you want, and it's going to help. But if you combine that with the right diet, you're going to get results twice as fast, and that's it.
How long should beginners work out at the gym? What's the intensity of the workouts when you start?
Depends on how fit you are.
So you should do a little bit of cardio, a little bit of weight, so people should start doing a little bit of everything?
Well, people ask me, what's the best way, the best program to work out? Now, researching everything, the best program, we all know the strength training is good for muscle. As you age, you lose muscle. You lose bone density. So you have to do strength training. Cardio is essential for your anaerobic capacity, for your heart, etc. We work on stability, which is balance. So combining all those things in one workout is the best. Say you've been working out for a month or two and you say, well, I want to go a little further. And just combine your strength training with your aerobic, anaerobic balance training. For instance, you can do a set of weights. You can do a set of treadmill for 5 minutes or 2 minutes. You can do bicycle for 30 seconds. Go back to bicep curls or whatever. You just balance. Squats are the best thing for your legs and glutes and everything else. So you just combine everything.
Instead of just running on the treadmill for 5 hours.
Running on the treadmill for 5 hours is good for someone that's training for a marathon. Okay, if I want to get healthy and get in shape, you don't want to run more than 30 seconds on a treadmill. And I'll tell you why. Because people over 50, and I was a marathon runner, and I ran track in college as a track coach, and I researched this. All my friends that were competing in their 60s, they all get AFib, because running long distance when you're older is not good for your heart. So what you have to do is get the heart rate up by doing a fast walk or a fast sprint for, say, 20, 30 seconds, bringing the heart rate down again, then getting it up. So if you're a beginner, you would start by walking maybe, getting the heart rate up, and then bringing the heart rate down again. And then when you get to a point where you can run, then you run for 30 seconds on the treadmill, then you bring it down again, you walk, bring the heart rate down. That's probably the healthiest, best thing you could do, for cardio.
Now, what do you think about HIIT, high intensity interval training?
Well, yeah,
What are your thoughts on that?
It depends on how high the intensity is. Like people that are older and just starting out, they're not going to do a high intensity workout. They can do a semi high intensity, like I just mentioned. You do one thing at a time. Take 5 exercises and just go through one, all 5. Take a break. Do that 5 or 6 times. And we'll get into high intensity exercises as we progress in our future podcasts, when we have people that are in shape, athletes that want to compete in different sports, bodybuilders that want to compete in bodybuilding or physique shows or whatever. But for the beginner, start out slow It's all in the mind.
It is
gotta
all
stick
in the
with it.
mind.
It's all
Because
in the
I
mind.
remember I did not do any exercise until I was probably 27, 28.
27, yeah.
And I remember the day that I told you that story when everybody jumped the fence to get to the beach.
Right.
And I couldn't jump the fence.
Right.
And then someone jumped the fence back and said, all right, well, we'll walk around the fence. And it takes 40 minutes to walk around it.
Sure.
And I just remember how bad I felt. But I remember when I started jogging, even doing push-ups, I felt awful. I felt I was going to die. Even running a mile was so hard, right? And then eventually now, thanks to you and your guidance, and obviously nutrition, I feel great.
You know, sometimes I tell my clients that are going away on vacation and say, what should I do? I can't go to a gym. Well, this is for beginners and advanced people. You take, for instance, 3 exercises. Say squats, number 1, lunges, number 2, an upper body exercise, which could be chair dips or it could be push-ups. And then you do an ab exercise. And you do that continuously, and then you rest for maybe 2 minutes, do that again 5 times, and then that's your workout. Squats are probably the best exercise you can do for your whole body. You know, that's why a lot of bodybuilders do a lot of squats.
Art, I got another one for you. Now, there's something about just as we exercise and focus on nutrition, are your thoughts on sleep? Just being as disciplined for sleep as you are with your workout.
Oh, man, that's a great question because I'll tell you something. If you want to get a lot of sleep, don't do these gummies
No,
at night.
no.
Okay, there are gummies that make you tired.
I was on
of
the
course.
labyrinth of the
But if you
mind.
want to get some sleep, man, do not do these strong
I
gummies at
was
night.
lost on
You will
those
be
gummies.
in la la land for a long time. You know, but
You've
actually,
been
yeah,
there.
sleep is of course sleep is important. You know, I mean, I try to get 8-9 hours a night because I train really hard. You know, I train 7 days a week, and my workouts are anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. At this stage of the game, I don't worry about my looks too much. You know, I used to be a bodybuilder, but now
You're
it's
a
like
good-looking guy, Art, still.
I'm saying, you know, these kind of looks. No, it's more about fitness, you know, for me, more about being able to work out for as long as I want, not being tired, combining my ring workouts with my strength training and my anaerobic stuff, my sprinting on the treadmill or just doing hills outside, combining all the different disciplines that make me be in the best shape of my life at my age. And I think that's really important, you know, for me. I mean, if you're younger, I want to look good, man. You know, it's like, or I'm going to lose weight.
Yeah.
Or
The
I want to
kids
compete in a
that,
physique show. You know, it's
The
like,
kids that take pictures for 2 hours in the locker room every day.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
normal, you know. And
Yeah, so if
I
I was
look
a
back
kid,
and
I would
said,
do that too.
you know, I used to be that way. I used to like look in the mirror and like pose and work on my routine. And I said, man, looking back on that, man, I was really narcissistic, but not really, because I looked at it as a sport back then. But now it's not a sport; it's more of a lifestyle. You know, you gotta, if you want to be good, you want to be healthy, you got to change your lifestyle before it's too late, because there's going to be a point where it's too late. You know,
day
you
of
go to the
reckoning.
supermarket, you see these people in their 70s, you know, they got a cane here and they're walking around like, you know, like this, and they got a mask on because they're scared, you know, or whatever, you know. And you got to get over that fear. You got to start before you get to that point. Okay? I mean, I look at a point where I see an 80-year-old lady. There's actually very good spot on YouTube. We have this 80-year-old lady with gray hair. She's sitting in a chair and she's doing this. And you have this 80-year-old lady that works out and competes in bodybuilding. And it's like, dude, she's like 40 years younger than this person. They're the same age. You know, and the same thing when I go to, you know, go somewhere like a supermarket, I say, that person's as old as this 75-year-old lady I'm working out. And she's young because they gave up.
Yeah. I mean, Art, I told you this story before, and I love my father, and, you know, all respect to him, but you're older than my father, and my father needs help to get in and out of the car, and he walks around with a cane.
Yeah.
But he never did any exercise at all.
Right.
I mean, except maybe light walking, maybe focusing on nutrition, but he never did any exercise at all. Yeah.
You know, I think, for the final point, I think exercise, getting in shape, helps anything you're doing in life. It helps you spiritually. All right? Spirituality, being fit, being strong, being healthy, helps you be strong inside your spiritual self. And I think that when you're older, you realize that. So people that are sick, how can they be spiritual? You can't. Their brain doesn't function the same way someone that is, works out, and your brain stays young. People get Alzheimer's and dementia because they don't exercise and their diet's bad and they go on certain drugs or whatever to help them. It's too late, man. Start before that happens.
That's it.
Learn about supplements, and we're going to get into supplements in every podcast. We'll take 1 or 2 supplements and talk about it. And next week, we have a great guest coming on.
Don't want to miss that.
He's a medical doctor from Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City. He works on celebrities. He comes up on the weekends here. He works out. He's in great shape.
Yeah, I've done rings with him.
And he follows my workouts. He takes supplements. He's 63 years old, but he's in the shape of a 40-year-old. And he's a medical doctor, so he'll tell us about his clients in the city, about his work, and how exercise has actually helped his practice. Okay, and again, when you're in shape physically, it helps you in everything you do in life. So
It's
you
helped
got to
me a lot.
start now. So don't miss our next show. Any other questions?
No, that's it, Art. I
Okay,
think we've
is there
covered
any other
everything.
bolo questions out there that you guys want to talk about as far as, getting stoned or whatever? Because actually, there are some products that you can take that you don't get like whacked out, and I've tried them all, and I'd go easy on the whacked out supplements. But anyway, don't miss our next show. We got some great guests in the future coming out. We got someone from CNBC coming in here that's the head of, home entertainment there. We got some celebrities coming on. We got some bare knuckle fighters,
Oh,
mixed
yeah.
martial arts fighters,
Oh, yeah.
and keep in tune
Peace out.
and get that subscribe button.
Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, please, and thank you so much for joining us
All right,
today.
great.